Good morning. Welcome to Sunday Morning Online for First Unitarian Church of Providence, Rhode Island. I am the Reverend Roger Peltier, and it is my pleasure to be with you this Easter morning. Each week at our church, we share our joys and our sorrows as a community. If you want to participate in this virtual version, just send your thoughts before 12 noon on any Saturday to pastoralcare@firstunitarianprov.org. To begin, I'll bring forth the flaming chalice burning in our hearts for healing and hope in these days, no doubt. Our first candle is a candle of joy. Let's celebrate our young people who are doing their schoolwork online during the day while they're helping their parents out with their chores at night. A candle of joy for gardeners who plant seeds and flowers because they are optimistic. Beth Ann Turney thanks all of you who have sent your best wishes for her health. Your attention is much appreciated. And here are two candles of gratitude, one for the support of the remarkable women in my soul circle. I look forward to our Saturday morning discussions and believe this is helping me stay sane during these difficult times. And gratitude for all the people who donated to Loaves and Fishes on behalf of Emmanuel House last weekend. I'm happy to be a part of a community that regularly helps those in need. A candle of hope and warm greetings to our partner church in Transylvania. May the joy of Easter be with all of you, and may you remain safe. Amidst the sadness that is upon us with this pandemic, there is still joy to behold. Jean and Bill Donlin are proud to announce the birth of their grandson, Owen Bradley Fulton, born to Christina and Dennis Fulton on April 5th at Women and Infants Hospital. They couldn't be happier. A candle of joy as well and thankfulness that our daughter Emily in Seattle is now on the road to recovery from COVID-19. Thankfully, my granddaughter and First U member Sherry has safely returned from a 30-day incarceration for supporting immigrants. A candle of remembrance for that precious child who was ours to love and hold for such a short while, but now lost to us except by the love in our hearts. Two candles this morning, one for the continued recovery of Susan Hurd, and also one for the recovery of Phil Lieberman. A candle of sympathy to Jackie, Jamie, and Jim Etsy on last Tuesday's death of their mother and wife, Patricia Baker. She is deeply missed. A candle of appreciation to my soul circle for hearing me into speech and giving me the feeling of deep connection that I need to fill the imperfect spaces I am struggling with right now. A candle of sympathy for the death of my uncle, Bob Chaput. We lost him to COVID just 2 days ago. And a candle of healing to Bob's wife of 40 years, my Aunt Jerry Chaput, who had a fall in the middle of the night just 2 nights ago, breaking 4 ribs. Now, friends, this final candle came from many of you, expressing your sorrow, sympathy, and love for John Prine, another life lost to COVID-19. But we will remember John as a masterful singer, storyteller, and wordsmith. As Bruce Springsteen said, John is a national treasure and a songwriter for the ages. Friends, let us rest in the gladness that we have each other to share our joys and our sorrows. Indeed, it makes all the difference. To prepare our hearts for prayer and meditation, I'd like to invite you to breathe with me. Very simply, please take a deep breath with me. And again. You know, thinking about today's theme, that we are Easter people living in a Good Friday world, I was brought back to another time when this country was perhaps equally distraught. Back then, I found myself in New Orleans, as they say down there, during Mardi Gras, a dream trip, if you can imagine, at least at another time. I was there with my church's youth group, and we were there to help with cleanup and restoration after the complete devastation of Hurricane Katrina. Now, we all saw the clips and the newsreels about the water and the rooftops seemingly floating in rivers. But the one thing cameras don't capture is the smell. The wretched, damp, dank, reeking smell that just doesn't leave your nostrils. It smells like death, and it's very overpowering. So here we were in the smell and in these abandoned homes that people abandoned because they themselves felt abandoned. So we were gutting these houses, and floors were coming up and ceilings were coming down. People's most personal items were strewn about, left unattended to. Everyone was alone and abandoned and poor and smelling. And I just came undone. Something clicked in me that just made me go into despair. It got to where I just had to go outside, and there I was, sitting outside, sitting in the dirt, and I'm crying, and I'm trying to figure out a way that I can gracefully leave, what excuse I can make just to get away from the whole situation. And then I notice it, no kidding, I'm planning on leaving there and all the debris and devastation, and I know how this sounds. In the middle of all the rubble, I see a single white flower blooming. And I know that sounds a little, schmarmy, but it's true. And I have to tell you, when I saw that one flower, I felt restored. Somehow I felt whole again. I felt renewed. I could almost imagine the smell of the flower, the smell of renewal and of life. And I knew right then that we may be living in Good Friday circumstances, but Sunday is coming, as some preachers say. And with it, the promise of new life and new hope and a new vision. And this is my morning prayer, my friends. This is my prayer, that each of you will discover the moments that restore you while we walk together through these difficult times. Until then, my friends, carry the flame. People, carry the flame. Amen.